Good morning. Welcome to the Red Deer Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Diane. I thank you for dropping in this morning. Our opening affirmation to begin with. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. With this attitude of rejoicing and gratitude, I go about the events of my day with love in my heart and a song on my lips. This day and every day, I find a way to celebrate life. All is God. All is good, and so it is. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Edith and her group for 2 congregational songs.
Wonderful, and it's on page 119 in your books. I think you're wonderful when somebody says that to me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. If we practice this phrase in the most honest way and find something special in someone each day, we'll lift up the world one heart at a time. It all starts by saying this one simple line. I think you're wonderful. Somebody says that to me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. When each one of us feels important inside, loving and giving and glad we're alive. Oh, what a difference we'll make in each day, and all because someone decided to say, I think you're wonderful when somebody says that to me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. Okay, and our next song we'll do All You Can. It wasn't the one I picked this morning, but for some reason, as I was putting the sheets into the book, that's the one I grabbed, and then Reverend Judy said, oh, are we doing that one? I went, no, that was, she said, that's the one I wanted to do today, so it worked out perfectly. Do All You Can, page 132, near the back there. Okay. It's funny how things work like that, eh? Not really, it always good. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. One little boy in Africa, he put a face on AIDS, told his story to the world till he died. These are the words he said, do all you can with what you have, the time you have.
Thank you. That was great for lifting our spirits. Our word for the children today is creativity. You are a new creation of God. No one has ever been born who is just like you. Creativity is a way to use your special gifts and talents to bring new things into the world and a way to use the spark of God within you. It is expressing new ideas, new ways of doing things. It can be seeing old things in new ways. Creativity is sharing your special gifts with the world. Our affirmation today, if you would like to share it with me, God within me does great stuff. God within me does great stuff. And so it is. Our announcements for this morning. Bingo is coming up on Wednesday, September the 14th. If you can help, please contact the center and let us know. And at this point, I would like to introduce Reverend Judy, and she will give us our message for this morning. Reverend Judy, are you ready? Please give a warm welcome to our Reverend. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Well, happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. So interesting that our topic for the month is about work. So Labor Day is a perfect time for it. Got it? Good. All right. Let's begin with an opening spiritual mind treatment. I breathe in and know that that which I breathe in nourishes my body. I breathe out and know what I breathe out nourishes the plant life of our planet. I know that this day is another day of perfect circulation, of perfect life expressing itself in divine ways. I know that today truly I can say all is well because God is at the center of it all, and so it is. So I'm going to, no, I'll do them in that order. Yeah, I keep changing my mind about this. Number 4, well, it doesn't arrange itself the way I had planned, so I will start from the end. Bill Gates had something rather interesting to say about lazy people. He said, I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. Isn't that brilliant? It reminds me of the story of how the steam engine was invented. A boy sitting watching his mother's tea kettle and watching the lid lifting. At least this is the story that we hear about it. And from that, the idea for the steam engine was born. He wasn't working. He wasn't in a laboratory trying to cook up a new way of doing things. He was sitting in the kitchen, probably waiting for lunch, watching the tea kettle. So if any of us have the idea that work or creativity has to be backbreaking, strenuous, or super difficult, that is probably the biggest lesson we can learn today. And work's good. Now I'll get into more of what I had actually planned. And I look like I'm missing a page from my talk, so this will be interesting. Will somebody take a look in my bag? Edith, would you go back and look in my bag and see if there's a piece of paper in it still? Because I really would like to have that material. No? Okay. It was there and now it's not. All right. So the idea of everyday wonder and work going together. Does the word work have negative implications for you? It can have. Does the idea of creativity have any negative connotations? Don't think so. All right. So if we could make the idea of work and combine it with creativity, just like the lazy person creating an easy way to do the new task, then it doesn't sound tedious, right? It sounds like something we can handle, something that might even be interesting. The idea that through our lifetime, now I started working full-time when I got out of high school, when I finished my grade 12 a year early in 1957. I was 17. And since then, until the summer of 2019, I was working full-time. So that is somewhere between 60 and 70 years. The last couple of years since my can serve experience, I've been putting in less time. But imagine if all of that time, a minimum of 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, imagine if that had all been drudgery, work that I disliked doing. It was necessary work and it was rewarding. The first 3 years of it, well, not the first 6 months, but the following 2.5 years were kind of like a long beach party because I was in the Canadian Air Force and I spent 2 years on Prince Edward Island. I put in an 8-hour shift 5 days a week, but I considered it a 2-year beach party. So with that, did work in that connotation hurt? Oh no, it was fun. I don't remember the duties of what I did. I was a teletype operator back in the days before computers were born. And that's fine. I received messages, sent out messages. If I got a panic message that somebody was attacking us, that might have been interesting, but didn't happen at that time. So that was work, but it was play. That was work, but it was socializing. So I bring the idea of socialization and fun into my work scene. And then, I moved on and I became the registrar of the college in Grand Prairie. Well, that was after working at the U of Calgary for 12 years. But every experience I've had, the experience at the University of Calgary and at the Grand Prairie Regional College, that was working with students. What could be more exciting than working with young people who are planning their life goals, planning what they want to do with their life? Is that drudgery? That was so rewarding. I loved getting up and going to work in the mornings. So work, fun, play, interest, openness to greater good. Then I came to Red Deer and I spent 21 years as a professional realtor, and every group of people I worked with who were trying to find their dream house or were wanting to sell their home so they could move into something better or something smaller or something bigger, or maybe they were just moving to another location. But that was interesting, that was fun, that was people. Working with people trying to advance their lives in some way. Now I know that not every job is like that, let's face it, but there's a matter of consciousness around work that determines whether it's going to be a struggle, the word that I take out of my dictionary, whether it is going to be painful or miserable, or whether there's something within us that's going to give it a spark of life, of interest, of joy. And I believe that that can happen in any job, anything we do. If we put ourselves into it, it can be done. And yes, there are jobs that get super stressful, are pretty hard on us sometimes, but there's a way through that too. And the way we feel about a work life is consciousness. Have you ever heard us use the word consciousness? Well, you're having this kind of a problem or that kind of a problem or this ailment or that pain. So where is your consciousness? Where in your consciousness are you holding something that is creating that experience? I show people this rash I've had for over a year now, and I ask myself, what's in my consciousness that is holding on to that? What is in my consciousness that I haven't been able to release yet? And it hasn't come full force in my face. I've got Reverend Joanne did a beautiful treatment for me. And maybe I will consider that treatment is effective, and I accept it as being effective and working right now. So, consciousness. If you're having a struggle with your daily life, whatever that work is, even if we're retired, we're still cooking and cleaning and teaching our young people, our children and grandchildren, and working with neighbors and working with friends. So work doesn't just mean a 9-to-5, Monday to Friday occupation that we pull a check for at the end of the month. Working is what you could call what I'm doing today as work. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like a privilege. It feels like a joy to be able to share something, to take the years and years of study and experience I've had as a minister and try to share that in a way that might be helpful to somebody. That's not boring. That's not a chore. That's a privilege. And so this month, as we embark on an adventure in the spiritual practice of finding the good in the work we do, do you suppose that somebody digging a ditch, let's go back to where ditches were dug by hand instead of by machines, or whatever, by the machines maybe. Can you find the good in doing that work, in knowing that will permit the creation of a new water system or a new sewage system or one of the systems that make life in our society easier and more joyful? So is doing that work a drudgery, or is it a way of serving oneself and one's neighbor? So if we're doing a service of any kind, can our attitude toward it, hey, we're going to get upset once in a while if something isn't working right, and we can get, well, I won't say the words, it wouldn't be polite, but we can be less than happy sometimes. But the work itself, whether it's at home, taking care of our grandchildren, cooking for somebody who isn't always appreciative of what we cook, whether it's bringing up a beautiful young girl or a handsome young man to be the best that they can be, is that work or is that joy? Or is it a little bit of both? All right, I get agreement on that. So this week our focus is the skill, the gift, and the talent that shows up in us. How we understand our innate goodness or godness. How we understand our innate godness. What do we have to offer? What can we give of our knowledge, of our bodily strength, of our wisdom, of our, let's call it our very soul? What can we offer to the world we live in? And how can we do it so that it becomes a joy and a privilege instead of an obligation? At this point, I'm going to read a poem that was written by Robert Service. He's the fellow who wrote Sam McGee and a lot of those northern things. The shooting of Dan McGrew and the cremation of Sam McGee are his best known ones. But this one takes us back to what I opened with about Bill Gates and laziness. Let laureates sing with a rapturous swing of the wonder and glory of work. The pulpiteers preach and with passion impeach the indolent wretches who shirk. No doubt they are right in the stress of the fight. It's the slackers who go to the wall. So though it's my shame, I perversely proclaim it's fine to do nothing at all. It's fine to recline on the flat of one's spine with never a thought in one's head. It's lovely to lie staring up at the sky when others are earning their bread. It's great to feel one with the soil and the sun, drowned deep in the grasses so tall. Oh, it's noble to sweat, pounds and dollars to get, but it's grand to do nothing at all. So sing to the praise of the fellows who laze, instead of lambasting the soil. The vagabonds gay who lounge by the way, conscientious objectors to toil. But lest you should think by this smatter of ink the muses still hold me in thrall, I'll round up my rhyme, and until the next time, work like hell doing nothing at all. Now, all right, that might seem the very opposite of what we're talking about today. But can you see how so many of our great inventions, our great ideas, our great philosophies have come from people who appear to be doing nothing at all? To be aware of it, that when you're sitting and apparently in a mindless, that there may be something being born in you, being created in you, that will be ready when it matures to share with your world as something of good. By the way, that poem, when I was in the Air Force, I kept a copy of that on my bedroom door in the barrack block. And because I worked shift work, it was, whatever. It was kind of fun to have it there. But I thought of it in terms of work and what we consider the opposite of work. So can you take it in that both work and the absence of being physically involved in work can be part of your talent and part of what you have to offer your world? Think of the two in context, not as two polar opposites, but as a combined idea that lets that within us, which has something new and special to offer, give us a chance to express itself. So that the idea of being lazy or not doing, and the idea of being out there with a pick and shovel are not polar opposites. If we can pull them together, we can find the poetry in the heart of the grave digger. We can find poetry in the heart of the person who's out with a machine sweeping the streets. We can find what we are looking for if we look not at a job title, but as a service to community, as a service for ourselves, to be able to look into every being, no matter what they're doing, whatever their place in life, from what we consider the lowest to the highest, and see something within them that can be expressed to bless ourselves and bless their world by being who they are, where they are, doing what they can. Edith can see why I like that song. Do what you can in the place you are with what you have. Do what you can. The world and the universe can ask nothing more of you than that you do what you can with what you have in the place you are. Isn't that, it gives me goosebumps actually. It is so special. So when we think this weekend of Labor Day weekend, I wish they'd take the word labor out of it, although it was eventually or originally supposed to celebrate the workforce, the laborers of our society, which is a wonderful thing. But the word labor doesn't sound very inspiring. The word work, unless you pair it with creativity and with giving, work is a gift to our community, to our society. What we call work can be an inspiration to ourselves. So if we found a different way to spell it, if we started calling it wonderful work or work in wonder, after all, our monthly theme says everyday wonder dash work. So we get into the idea of the word wonder. And you're probably all remember the song, I Wonder, 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 Who Wrote the Book of Love, etc. That popped into my mind for no reason at all. But if we can do our work with a sense of wonder, whether it is, I don't know what to cook for Norris tonight. I've got this. Maybe if I did this with it and added that and did that, maybe I could create an interesting meal. So if we put the wonder into the task, we can make it wonderful. So the idea of being able to take a simple task and turn it into something special. And I know that belongs in Pollyanna, and some of you are old enough to know the book Pollyanna. I mean, it's been around for quite a while, before the age of, before even telephones were widespread, right? Let alone cell phones. But work, what we call work, wonderful work, inventive work, work as a title of what we do for 40 hours a week for most of our working life, is such a huge block of time. It's such a huge block of time that if we view it negatively, whatever it is we're doing, what are we doing to our consciousness? You spend 8 hours a day being unhappy, cursing your superiors, cursing the company, being unhappy that you're there. What is it doing to your consciousness, to your health, to your well-being? In one of our super books, might even be in spiritual economics, one of our great writers said, you're only free to go when you're free to stay. And you're only free to stay when you're free to go. If you're unhappy in your work and you're considering leaving, your own consciousness can make the change in these circumstances so that you are free to stay or you are free to go. So getting that, and I'm kind of all over the map, but that's just because I am, but you're only free to go when you're free to stay, and you're only free to stay when you're free to go. In other words, open your mind and your consciousness to possibilities. Well, maybe if I saw the potential in this or in that, maybe if I have a talk, an understanding talk with so-and-so, from the center of my consciousness, my genuine beingness, maybe things can change and I can become free to stay. And then being free to go goes along with it. But it's such a simple concept, more difficult sometimes to put into practice. But it's a winner if you can do it. I'm only free to go when I'm free to stay. And with that, I'm going to delve into something more about work, and it's in this book by Eric Butterworth, Spiritual Economics, True Prosperity. And this is probably the course I'm going to teach starting, not this week, the following week on Thursday afternoons. And this chapter is called Work and the Success Syndrome. But down in the second paragraph here, it says, why do you work? You may smile at the question, but it seems perfectly obvious that everyone works to make a living. However, if this is the only reason you can come up with, then it's one of the errors that needs to be unlearned. It is an attitude that may well be frustrating your creative flow. What are you getting out of your work? If you respond in terms of salary figures, fringe benefits, and executive perks, then you're underpaid. Your prosperity will always be a reflection of your consciousness. So there's some marvelous stuff in this book. And if you're looking to change your views on prosperity, on always having enough to do what you want at the time you want to do it, which is, again, that might be in this book. I don't remember whether it's Eric Butterworth or Raymond Charles Barker said that is true prosperity, being able to do what you want when you want to do it. And he might have gone on, and with whom you want, blah, blah. But it's the idea of work as an opportunity and as a privilege, and changing our situation by changing our own consciousness. We probably can't change the people that run the company. We probably can't change the job description, at least not immediately, but we can always change our consciousness. Many of you are well aware of it, but that's what spiritual mind treatment is all about, whether it's for the finding the great new job or the great new home or curing a physical ailment of some kind. It's spiritual mind treatment is not about the outward effect. It's about changing the consciousness to free it, to express greater truth, to express more of God, so that the circumstance takes care of itself. If I clean my consciousness, this rash disappears. If I clean my consciousness, what I desire and require in my workplace will change itself. So work. And the blessings of laziness. Let laureates sing, and with passion. I used to know the whole thing. I can't say it anymore. So, let laureates sing with rapturous swing of the wonder and glories of work. So though it's my shame, I perversely proclaim, it's fine to do nothing at all. If that's what life feels right for you right now, do nothing at all on the outer, but keep the inner at work, creating something that gives to you in satisfying your own sense of creativity, even if it's just creating a new recipe or creating a song, as Edith has done. It all comes down to do what you can with what you have in the place you are, with what are the rest, well, whatever, do all you can, whether it's the little boy in Africa or Mother Teresa in India, feeding the poor and hungry. I always love the story of Mother Teresa when she was on a train journey, and through the night, the sound of the wheels kept saying, feed the hungry, clothe the poor. Feed the hungry, clothe the poor. Feed the hungry, clothe the poor. So that's where she got her message from, her incentive to do what she could in the place she was, in the ways that she could. And so my goal, my desire for each one of us is that we, whatever stage of life we're at, that we find what we can do in the place we are with what we have. because we truly all come from a place of divinity. And if we listen to that, if we resort to the divinity within us and ask, then what is truly ours to do will be shown to us. What is truly mine to do, even if it's to recline on the flat of one's spine, looking up at the stars or the clouds. And so it is. Thank you. And a short pause to wipe my nose, and we'll go to the prosperity portion of our program and read our prosperity affirmation together. All that I am is a gift of God. All that I give is from the divine flow that I receive, use, and let go to nourish and sustain all of creation. In my world of peace, harmony, and prosperity, there is constant supply and constant release. I am one with the divine process, and so it is. However, I'm going to, before I introduce the musicians to do their special number for us, I'm going to tell you that Reverend Joanne will be starting her course on, I've got the times here, Tuesday, October 4, 6:30. And she's going to teach Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And if you watch on Facebook or on our website, we'll have a poster out about that very soon. And mine, I'm pretty sure it's going to be this, but again, I'll make sure that it gets publicized. And I will be starting a week from this coming Thursday, and it also will be at 6:30 in the evening. All right. Edith, what do you have for us?
We're going to do amazing things.
Okay.
Jan Stanfield. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't have to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing.
So please join me now in reading our closing affirmation together. All things have come to pass that a greater good may move in. I am open to the process, releasing that which has served its purpose and accepting with grace the next experience. Life is flow, strong and deep and true. I am one with that flow. Trusting, I let go and permit life to live itself as me, and so it is. We'll move on to I Love Myself, after which I'll ask practitioner intern Gord Himmelgarn to do our closing treatment.
Oh, that would be my pleasure.
Page 33, and you may stand. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Reverend Judy, for such a wonderful message. As there is an infinite intelligence throughout the entire universe, I know that this intelligence is in each and every person. I am so thankful as I go about my day, knowing this infinite intelligence imparts intelligence on me, so I can kick back and just take the compliment of being lazy smart. Thank you very much for the great idea, intelligence. I release my word into the law of mind. I know it's acted on, right here, right now, and so it is.
Okay, and our next song is Yes, There's Peace on Earth, page 114. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Yes,
time for tea and coffee.